Welcome, everyone, to Dublin, California, to the site of this afternoon's football game, freshman football game between the Campolindo Cougars and the brand new Emerald High School Aeronauts. My name is Bruce Lyon. I'm joined today by Bill Chapman and down on the field, Travis Whitney, who is giving you some of these images. You're kind of seeing his images right now as we work on some of the settings for our other camera. So, Bill, third football game for the Campolindo Cougars. It's been an interesting season so far. 2 tough games against really good opponents so far. But let's see what they can do against this brand new football team that's out here in Dublin. So we're going to cut to some of these other images, folks, so to get you going. So Campolindo getting ready to kick off. Number 10, Raleigh Schnurr, I believe that is. It's kind of funky. We're at a brand new building, but they haven't cleaned the windows yet, or the film's not on. So we actually may want to slide some of these windows open or closed. Who knows what the deal is. All right, so we're getting ready for kickoff here. Campolindo kicking off. We don't have a roster for the Emerald kids, so we'll just kind of wing it. So a ball comes down about the 20-yard line. The runner is coming up to about the 31-yard line, brought down by Coast Cougars there. So the Aeronauts are going to start at about their 31-yard line. So Emerald's coming into this game 1-1 after beating Berkeley 12-9 last week. Again, the very first victory in the history of the football program here at Emerald, because it's only 2 weeks old. And the previous week they lost 34-0 in California. Again, that was their first game ever. And this is their first game ever on NFHS. So we will try to get use our multi-camera system here and get all sorts of different images. Randy Whitney is down there on the field. He is taking care of that for the first half. Aeronauts lining up in a 1-by-3 set. Now the back comes in the backfield. That's going to be a weird handoff in the backfield. Campolindo's going to snuff him out, and he's going to get him down for about the 28-yard line. It's going to be a loss of about 5 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 5. So again, third game of the season for Campolindo. Campolindo's taken it on the chin these first 2 weeks, but outscored 64-13 in their first 2 games. Of course, they've had those tough opponents. A very good Dublin Gales team was right down the road here. They lost 19-7. Very good game for Campolindo, though, being their first high school football game. And then they ran into a buzzsaw last week against the Northgate Broncos. 43-6 was the loss there, and that was over at Northgate High School.
Special teams and tackling is what they've been working on this week, and the field position and the first couple plays are showing some improvement on those.
Yeah, it was tackling. It was literally the Olay defense the whole time. I mean, I was joking with people that it was kind of like it was flag football as opposed to regular football. And we need to get your score strip up here, folks. So Bill and Randy are new at this, so we're just kind of working on this a little bit at a time. So we'll improve as the day goes along. We're kind of doing multiple things here. So again, here in Dublin, California, if you don't know where the new campus is, off Fallon Road, it's probably the easy way to say it. So that's going to bring up 2nd down and about 18 or 20. Here's going to be a throw out into the flat to number 88. He's tackled immediately by Campolindo, brought down there at about the 22-yard line. So kind of a great start you expected from Campolindo there. And Aeronauts, again, this is probably their toughest opponent so far of the 3, and not able to move the ball in Campolindo at all. Interestingly, again, they won last week, beating Berkeley 12-9. Campo rescheduled a canceled game, and they are now going to play Berkeley at some point in time. Later in the season, I'll get to that later. All right, here we go on 3rd down. 3rd and a long, long way to go. And there's the handoff to the back coming on a loop. It's number 15. 15 is brought down by Campolindo's number 47, Kason Rube, and a number of other Cougars. And we're going to officials timeout here, flag on the play. We'll see what the penalty was. It was, I think, an illegal motion on the Aeronauts. And as a result, Campolindo, I think, is going to decline that penalty, and they are going to force the Aeronauts to punt. All right, so, Bill, the question is, what is an aeronaut? So an aeronaut, this is from Wikipedia.
All right.
The aeronauts are a dragon-like Celtic folklore monster, and its colors are green, blue, and white. Well, that matches what we see down here at the school. Mascot was chosen to reflect the Irish heritage of the city of Dublin, as well as the students' preference for a sea serpent or Asian dragon to reflect the large number of Asian Americans now living in the city. So here's the punt. That ball's going straight up in the air. Campolindo needs to get away from it. They'll learn that as freshmen, hopefully. That ball's going to bounce up to about the 50. It's going to be effectively about a 30-yard punt, so not that bad.
So special teams and D in the backfield are two brand new things for us seeing out of this team. So they have been working hard at practice. You can see it paying off.
Okay, so we're going to reset the clock, this to 1st and 10 for you. Again, that's going to be Bill's job. And hope we didn't lose you there. And you'll see some display items on the screen here. It's just we couldn't take those off prior to the game, and getting the image to you is much more important than anything else. So we're going to have an offsides there on the Aeronauts, and that's going to cost them 5 yards, making an easier first down for the Cougars at 1st and 5. So to finish the comment on the Aeronauts, so in the first year the school competed independently, and then now starting in 2020 starting in 2024, it's going to be competing in the Bay Valley Athletic League. Who all those other schools are in Contra Costa County. That's going to be an interior run. It's going to be a handoff.
Brotherly shove at the end. I love it.
It's a handoff. I believe Kieran Kester playing quarterback. See who that was on the carry. I think that was number 14, Blake Anderson. And that's going to give Campolindo a first down. So, I mean, not trying to burst anybody's bubble here, but, this Campolindo team, played decently in the first game, not so good on the second game, but this is a team that they should beat. They're not an experienced football team by any stretch of the imagination. All right, Kester, interior handoff, but the defensive tackle brings him down. That was number 50. Again, we don't have a roster yet for the Aeronauts. Eventually we will, but that's going to be a loss of about 3, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 13. Ball spotted about the 37-yard line. All right, Cougars in their white jerseys, blue pants, blue helmets at the line of scrimmage. And we got yet another flag on the play, not unexpected in freshman games. That's going to be a false start on Campolindo. It's going to cost them another 5 yards. So we have two wireless cameras today. We have one in the end zone when they get there. Campbell's not going in that direction yet. And then we have the one on the field. He's trying to catch as many good images as he can. Here are the Cougars coming up to the line of scrimmage. So now facing a second. And see the ball's on the 42. Need to get to about the 23, 19 or 20. Man in motion for Kester. He's dropping back, looking to his right. He gets a swing pass out there to number 12, Freer. He bumps off one cornerback, gets down all the way to about the 28, 29-yard line. That's going to bring up, I'm going to say, 3rd and I'm going to say about 4. Maybe 4.5 there. So good job. Bill, and we've got the rosters. Awesome. So we appreciate the great help there by the folks in the press box for Dublin. She was kind enough to just write everybody's name out. This is absolutely terrific. So for Campolindo, we see the receivers coming out. Riley Schnurr down there at the bottom of your screen, trying to look in the slots. Number 2, Cruz Dudum. 2x2 set, 2 receivers at the bottom, 2 at the top. Here's the pass. Kester passes out to the 20. He connects with his receiver. I believe that's number 1, Ryder Bleat. And that's going to be a first down Campolindo, 1st and 10. That ball will be spotted right there at about the 20-yard line. So, Bill, you were gone last week, so maybe you're the one who brings the good luck back here.
I was watching the game on my laptop in Denver, and special teams and tackling. And here we are.
All right, so Campolindo only scored 2 touchdowns on the season, looking to get their first in this game, their 3rd overall. There's going to be the pitch, tried and true Campo play, and that run's going to go around end, and he's headed for the end zone, 10-5. That's Freer into the end zone. Touchdown, Campolindo. That's the first one of the game. Freer working a nice run. It's kind of, we saw the reverse of that last week. I mean, one of the things, Bill, is that a lot of these kids, this is the first time they're playing tackle football. And when they say kids that are a lot more physical to them, they'll stiff arm them and stuff, it makes them shy away. So again, as you were saying during the week, practice, I'm not going to say makes perfect, but it makes you less gun shy. It makes you say, hey, if this is tackle football, I got to tackle. All right, Campolindo looking to tack on the extra point here. I believe Freer is the one who is going to be, again, kicking the extra points. He is trying to see who the holder is. Always an adventure on these. Here's the snap. Here's the placement. The ball's up, and it is always looking for the officials. It's good. So you have one official on each side, and there's the third official is the referee, and he's basically directly behind the kicker. Says that's good. So Campolindo takes an early lead of 7-0 over here at Emerald High School. So like we said to you before, we're here in Dublin, California. Second of two games. I'm sorry. Two of the first three games are here in Dublin. The other one, of course, was at Dublin High School. So, Bill, essentially, though, all these kids, not these kids, these freshmen, but any of the kids who are sophomores, they ended up going to Dublin High School last year as freshmen. So they had to use all their sports fields and all that. They had kind of off-site classrooms, porta classrooms, whatever you want to call them, trailer classrooms. And then this campus just opened in the last month or so. This is the first new campus in Contra Costa County in 50 years. And it looks it. Here's the kickoff from Freer. That ball is going to get down to about the 20-yard line. Is it going to roll out of bounds? It is. Back off the receive. That was Vincente Gano. But he smartly saw that he wasn't going to get a return on that. And because he let the ball roll out of bounds, it'll be a penalty on Campolindo, and that ball will be brought out to the 35-yard line. Another option there, of course, for the coaches is just go ahead and have them re-kick it. So we can call out a lot of the kids out on Emerald. There was a penalty on Campolindo, and it looked like it was a false start on Campolindo. But the ball's, I'm sorry, he's just flagging the ball being kicked out of bounds there. My apologies. All right, so Aeronauts starting on the right side of the field. The hash marks, trying to see who the quarterback is. Here's the snap. Here's the handoff to number 15, Nathan Uchiyama. And he's tackled right there about the 35-yard line, so probably no gain there. So we're seeing a relatively small group of, roster here for both teams, probably about 25 or 30 on each. And we'll count them a little bit later. The quarterback for this freshman team, first freshman team ever for this new high school. They're doing it one step at a time. Is number 18. That's Zachary Nelson, as we see him hustle out. That wants to avoid a penalty for delay of game. You can see up on the line for the Cougars. I gave you some of the names of those players up on the line. But here we go. Second and just less than 10. Takes the handoff, hands it off, nice and safe. Good transition. That was Nathan Uchiyama again. Uchiyama is going to get a first down, first of the game for the Emerald High School Aeronauts. Getting used to saying Aeronauts. Can you say Aeronauts three times fast?
Aeronauts.
There we go. So we realized a lot of folks didn't want to brave traffic and come out here to Dublin. It's like maybe some of the older alumni want to watch some of these games a little bit, just kind of see what's going on, especially with the new high school. So again, Campolindo has to tackle there. They really should have. They either got blocked out or they just didn't tackle Uchiyama there. Aeronauts approaching midfield. Again, 2-by-2 set. They're usually adjusting, sending Uchiyama back in the backfield here. And Uchiyama fumbles it. Who's going to get that right there near midfield? We're just getting a signal from one sideline that says it's their ball. Another signal from the other sideline. And that drop ball, I think, is going to be recovered by the Aeronauts. So that actually is going to lose them about a yard on that mishandled handoff. Ball will be placed at the 47-yard line. It looks like the coach for the Aeronauts is going to take his first time out of the game.
Van treating us to a little super freak action. Nice.
So remember,
A
there's
little Sabbath earlier.
So last year, Emerald had, we'll talk about this a little bit later. We're going to go on a 2nd and 11 for the Aeronauts. And here's a snap. It was grabbed out of the air by Uchiyama. It was going to his quarterback, Nelson, but he just grabbed it out of the air. I don't think that was the planned play. He only got about, he actually got a loss of a yard. So good tackling there by Campolindo. That's going to bring up 3rd and about 12, I believe. I was saying the school last year had about 346 students, and right now they're up to about 950 overall. But of course, this is just a new school, and they started with 1 freshman class last year. They elevate up to sophomores, so now they have sophomore and freshman classes here on campus. So it's about, I'm not going to say it's half full. It's actually about 30% full. I think when this school is completed, it'll about 2,500 students.
So we need to see the D keep up the pressure here.
Okay, 3-by-1 set here. Uchiyama actually lining up to go out in the slot. Nelson takes the snap. Looks like he's going to throw. He's going to be chased by Cougars. Throws the ball up in the air. Easy catch, but is he going to be brought down before the first down? He's going to be short of the first down by a half yard. That was just one of those passes, Bill, that he just kind of lobs up in the air because his receiver's in the area, and any good athlete who's playing as a defensive back should be able to grab that.
And there was a pretty good horse collar takedown in the backfield, too.
So that's going to be 4th and 1. They're going to obviously probably run for it. I'm going to guess maybe a quarterback sneak here. So we're not as bad as Northgate last week when we were looking directly in the sun. It's off to a little bit to the left of us, but a little bit better. And we're looking through hazy windows. All right, Nelson ready to hand off. He does to Ugiyama. Ugiyama's going to actually get that first down. He's going to get down to about the 40-yard line. Now actually the 38. So 1st and 10 for the Aeronauts. Say they won 12-9 last week. I'm going to assume the 12, without asking anybody, was 2 touchdowns against Berkeley. Berkeley themselves, they think they had lost quite badly to Northgate. It's kind of a little bit of a round robin there, if you think about it. I think there was something to 0. All right, so 1st and 10 for the Aeronauts in Cougar territory. It's interesting. The Aeronauts, because they don't have any varsity teams yet, or at least not for football, there's no placement for them. They're not in any. They're not ranked anywhere in NCS. They're not a Division I team, 2 team, or anything like that. But when they're said and done, they will be a Division I team because they'll have over 2,500 students. Okay, so we've already reached the end of the first quarter. And there we go. So your score at the end of the first quarter is Campolindo is leading Emerald 7-0. All right, so to reset for you, so we bring you back to game action here. We're here now in the second quarter as we start. Nelson has been going out of the shotgun the whole game, which has always been going to that backfield. Now they're going to throw out in the flat to number 88, and he's going to be tackled immediately. So Zahid Gauss was there on the reception, but nowhere to go. Campbell's defensive backs read that quite easily.
Great coverage, great ball awareness on D, getting behind the line of scrimmage. This is a new area for us. We like it.
But we so far have seen Uchiyama, and more Uchiyama. So this is going to bring up 2nd and about 14 with that about 4-yard loss there. Aeronauts, and their uniform is primarily blue, dark blue. White numbers, white helmets. Uchiyama in motion. Again, another handoff to him. He's going to try to get around in. He does, but he's going to be tackled by the shirt at the 40-yard line by the Cougars. He tries to dive forward up to about the 39, but that ball actually is going to be spotted at the 40. Good job by the Cougars, just not giving up there. Uchiyama just didn't show much athleticism to get away there. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 12 for Emerald. Seeing who's on the line for Campolindo, number 8 is Jake Montero. Number 47 I see down there is Kaysen Rube. He made a tackle earlier in the game. I'll call out some of the other numbers as they come along as I can see them. All right, 3rd and 12, probably 2 down territory. This ball is snapped. Nelson's looking, he's throwing his deepest pass of the day, and that's going to be probably picked off by Campolindo, but no, just could not corral it. His teammates around him, so it's going to fall harmlessly to the ground, at least as far as the Aeronauts are concerned, and that's going to bring up 4th down. See if they actually punt. They're switching a lot of players in there. Of course, special teams, especially in the freshman level, is a good way to get more players in. Campolindo had a punt return for a touchdown by Cape Haratunian at one of his 4 touchdowns last week on JV. So let's see if maybe the freshman players can get something here. One of Campo's best athletes on the football team is Hudson Gray. He's number 3 back there, standing on the 12-yard line. In front of him, I believe, is number 5, Becca Clayton. I think it is number 5. And that ball's off, coming a twisty kick. Need to field that, but the Aeronauts are down the field much too quickly. Really no blocking on them. The ball's going to be touched down about the 2.5-yard line, 3-yard line. And so Campbell's going to be deep in their territory when they start this next drive in the second quarter. Certainly not a lot of fans here today for either side. I mean, decent number considering, again, it's a freshman team for Emerald.
Are they bringing it back?
It looks like they are.
Is there a penalty?
We just weren't paying all that much attention to what was going on out there.
That's
the referee's walking it back. And may have been an illegal man. I'm sorry, offsides or something here. Because they are going to punt. The ball still spotted at about the 45-yard line. It's still about 4th and 15. Yeah, Punter is standing at about the 39-yard line, trying to get his number. And that ball is down. Campolindo is not touching it again this time, but they'll get better field positions. That ball rolls down to about the 15. The real key on that, if you want to get the blocking on those guys who are the gunners running down the field. Your son probably played gunner, right? His name was Gunner, or is the Gunner. So the idea is the more you let that ball roll, the less yards you get and more time comes off. So that's why it's key that those guys are blocked initially. So if you can field that punt either in the air or on the ground immediately, you can go. At least you have a couple seconds there.
And if you're going to grab it, you got to keep control.
All right, Cougars on now. I believe this is their second possession of the game. Kester again behind center. Looking composed. Inside handoff. Had success on that earlier. Ball carrier is going to get up to about the 20-yard line. That's going to bring up 2nd and about 6. Trying to see out there on coverage. Bhuvan Krishnamohan is playing cornerback on the left side. Let's see who's playing on the right side. Trying to see who's also playing on safety. It's always good to call the names out of some of these players. Joshua Chun. He's coming out to the side to cover Hudson. Let's see who's back at safety, too. But here's Kester, 2nd down. And we saw movement. It was a little kind of aggressive move there by the linebacker, number 27, Daniel Polanco. But Campolindo moves, so I think it's going to be a false start on Campolindo. No, they're going to say the Aeronauts are offside. So that's going to bring up, move that ball up 5 yards and make this 2nd and 1 opportunity for a short first down.
They've been sneaking in the hard count, and it's been working for them. So that's something that you'll see the more the offense gels.
And Kessler's going to go back to pass. He's going out for his wide receiver on the far left side. Need to put more mustard on that. It was intended for number 10, Riley Schnurr. He just didn't get anything behind that. It was kind of a one-on-one situation there on the far side of the field, the left side of the field for the players. But if he had lofted that or got it enough further downfield, his wide receiver Schnurr could have run right under that. Made an easy catch. So 3rd and 1, that's usually a pretty typical play by the coaching staff. If you're going to try something pretty aggressive, it's going to be on 2nd down and short because you can get this first down. And that's what the Cougars do. The ball carrier drags a few players up to the 30-yard line, but 1st and 10 Cougars. And that's going to be Freer. He's shown himself that was Blake Anderson. Anderson and Freer have shown themselves to be the kind of the most athletic players on the field most of the time, being able to evade tacklers and make great plays on defense so far.
And the blocking between the tackles is opening up good holes for them on the inside.
So I forgot to really start mentioning how much time is on the clock in each of these quarters, so I'll get better at that. It's 5:58 now here in the second quarter. Campo leading 7-0. Man in motion for Campolindo. It's going to be a handoff on the jet dive by number 2 for the Cougars. That's Dudum. Dudum gets up to about the 34-yard line. That's going to bring out first and about 6. So good job by Campolindo. Again, you just want to get the momentum and build that confidence, especially have it kind of, taking it on the chin the last couple of weeks. But you can't lose your confidence. It's all about you getting better. You're not that concerned about the other team.
And this is a great game plan to have ball control, running game, and run out the clock.
Yeah, I mean, right up out of the book of just establish the run game first. Man in motion again is Dudum. Dudum, he's cutting through the interior between the tackles, but he's brought down. A great tackle there by number 10, Jovashraj Ravi. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 4 for the Cougars. We have one of our cameras freezing. Not sure what's going on with our camera up above. So hopefully things will work out here. There we go. He's readjusted. Cut to that. So 3rd and 4, probably 2-down territory for the Cougars. No reason really to punt against the Aeronauts today. And it's inside handoff to Freer. Freer's getting up across the 40, almost to the 45. Definitely a first down for the Cougars. 1st and 10. 4:31 left on the clock. So it makes me wonder, how this affects the Dublin Gales and their team. How did it really kind of take a lot of players out that would have helped them on their team? The thing is, when you're pulling from a big area, population, and it just allows you to get more and more better and better players pretty much at all the positions.
Look at a good crosstown rivalry going.
Yeah, it'll probably take a decade, though, or so. All right, Kessler behind. Centers. Fake handoff. Throws that ball down the middle. That's caught by number 8. He's off to the races, headed to the end zone. Jake Montero.
Beautiful.
That's a play Coach Nicky loves. He run the same play over and over again. And then I think this is called Y action, I believe. And then the tight end essentially just runs straight down the field. It's usually not covered or covered lightly. And as a result, Campolindo scores its 2nd touchdown on the day. Those kids will be doing that same play for the next 3+ years. So Campolindo leading 13-0 with 3:54 left on the clock. Looking through our hazy windows, I think it's UV film. I don't think they just took the UV film off or any of the film off on this.
They're just brand new windows. They still got the price.
Oh, they do have the price tag. They still have the stickers, yeah.
They just, Home Depot was just here last week.
That's what the deal is. That's why it's so easy. Maybe at halftime we should help them by taking the stickers off. What do you think?
Just think what it's going to be like with the stickers off, nice clean windows.
Well, the other windows are clean, yeah. All right, here's the ball. Ball's down, the ball's up, and that kick is good. Okay. That was out of the hold of Ryan Williams. Didn't get who the snapper was. But that's going to make the score 14-0 Campolindo with 3:54 left in the second quarter. Yeah, so I saw this one on the schedule. It wasn't in Max Prep, so we have to ask the director, the athletic director, Michelle, who is very nice and helping us out get set up here. Kind of put that on Max Preps, please. So the kids, if they earn a victory, they actually can see it, and everybody else can see it. Though I must say, nobody really cares after your freshman year.
So this is what I meant about the talent starting to creep up to the top in this 3rd game. Jake Montero, super fast. He plays both sides of the ball. You get him going up the middle, open, and that kind of stuff's going to happen. So we'll see more of that.
All right, so here's the kickoff by Schnurr. Ball's going to go all the way down to the 1-yard line. It stops dead, and then the back has to pick it up, and he's trying to make something out of nothing, but he's tackled by some Cougars, including number 19, Stefan Pilecki. Didn't see who that was because of the haze on these windows, but that was almost disaster for the Aeronauts. That's the first time I've seen it all just stop dead on the 1, and he realized, I better go. He had probably a difference of about 10, 15 yards between him and any Cougars, but by the time he picked it up and got to the 5, they were on him.
Hot potato.
So that's going to bring up 1st and 10 for the Aeronauts at the their own 10-yard line. 3:43 left on the clock here in the second quarter. It's all right. Just not sure if you're able to see much of that. I don't know if I was on the wrong camera. My apologies. Same formation for the Aeronauts. Good, smart idea as far as the coach is concerned, so the kids know what their jobs are. But that handoff is only going to get Ugiyama maybe another yard. That kid's going to have 40 carries and 45 yards, I think, at the end of the day, with the lost yardage and some of the 5, 6 to 10-yard gains. And I think the coach, Zach Nelson, was headed to the sideline to get the play from the coach, and I think the coach said, "Same play. This is the same thing we've been doing all day." And I get it. It's like, do it perfectly, and then we'll move on to something else. It's all practice if you're a freshman. Here's the hands off to Ugiyama. Did he fumble again? Yes, he did, and I think the Cougars got it. They did. Botched handoff between Ugiyama and Nelson. As a result, Cougars are going to take over, knocking on the door at about, what's this going to be, the 9-yard line?
Great penetration, great behind the scrimmage line.
And we'd love to be able to tell you the number. It's just so hard to see from up here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, talking about Jake Montero, he just made the last touchdown run. Now he's playing defensive tackle. So he's all over the place.
All right, Kester from behind center. He's got fullback. It's handed on the fullback on the interior run. Is that number 14? He's in for the touchdown. Blake Anderson, I believe. Is that correct, Bill? You're the one with the binoculars. One play, one touchdown for Campolindo, so they take a 20-0 lead. So they're starting to feel good about themselves, forcing fumbles against an inferior team, pretty much scoring on every drive. That's what you want to see. Build that confidence. And then if you're the coach for the Aeronauts, it's like, hey, guys, you want to play tackle football. You're playing essentially a pretty good program, but these kids are the same age as you, similar experiences, but they seem to want it more. 2:30 left on the clock here in the second quarter. Here's the snap.
Oh, it's fake.
Fake snap. It's going to be a throw, and that's going to be incomplete. That's going to leave that score at 20-0. I didn't see, Bill, was that a botch snap or was that a planned play?
That was a planned play. Ryan Williams, who's the holder, is actually a quarterback as well, lefty quarterback. Picked it up and went with it.
So we're getting all sorts of images today. This is what we're getting from the camera above.
That's Randy on the field.
And what that means, again, we're still learning, at least with this group of people, as far as how to work everything. So I only can work with what I got here. So here's the kickoff for Campolindo. Schnurr puts that ball down. That ball's going to go to about the 10, bounce to about the 8, 9, and then go right out of bounds. So that looked like it was going to stay in bounds, but that'll draw a penalty, and that'll mean the Aeronauts will start their next drive at the 35 as long as they choose to. Again, just third game ever for this high school football game, all freshmen. So next year they'll have a JV team and a freshman team. And the year after that will be their first year at varsity, and these are the players you're going to see out there. It's how you build a program, one step at a time. Be interesting to see if they start camps and everything. And this year, I mean, Bill, this is the area that's been growing the most in the Bay Area, as you and I both know.
So you can see it right around the stadium, all the new housing and all the building happening around here.
All right, 1st and 10, Campolindo leading 20-0, 2:30 left on the clock. That's going to be a handoff to number 10, Jushreg Ravi, but he is going to meet a host of Cougars, or a pack of Cougars, there at the 30-yard line. It's going to be a loss of about 5. So again, he's going to, the Aeronauts finding out what may have worked last week against Berkeley and a little bit against their initial opponent. which was California, is not working today against the Cougars. Again, Aeronauts lost 34-0 here against California in their first game. I believe it was on this field, so this is, I think, only the second game on this beautiful new field. Second and about 13. Here's the snap. Here's the pitch, and that's picked off there. Jumped the route there on the receiver. And who was that, number 2?
That was Matthew Morelli.
Was that Matthew Morelli?
Yeah, Matthew Morelli jumps the route, grabs the ball, Cougar ball.
Yeah, again, it's predictable. I think the coaches told Morelli and the other cornerbacks, when you're starting to see this is what they're going to do. Just jump in front of him and grab that ball, and he did. So interception puts the ball about the 20-yard line for the Cougars. 1:35 left on the clock, so plenty of time to try to score. And we're going to get a timeout on the field, and that's going to be Campolindo's first timeout. So pretty much what we expected. Brand new school, new construction, beautiful stands, and still a lot going on around us. There's the Fallon shopping mall, I believe, or I'm not sure what the shopping mall is across the street. Dublin Boulevard runs right behind the football stadium. Kind of a main route to get around Dublin if you know the area at all. But again, just growing and growing. We can see new construction of homes all going up to the hillside, up to the right. See if we can get you some pictures of that a little bit later. Right now, I can show you pictures of cars parked on the street. How about that? This is why I'm giving you image number 2 here, which is of the Cougars. So Randy is just learning different things he can do with that camera. And I'll just tell you, Bill, you don't have to stay on this side of the field. You can go to the other side of the field with it. I know Randy's staying down here, but you can go to the other side. You have the sun behind you a little bit. And you can get close-ups of the players and everybody.
Yep.
All right, we're getting back to action here, coming out of the timeout. Campolindo leading 20-0, first and 10. At their opponent's 20. Kessler's going to throw. He's throwing for the end zone. He's looking for his receiver. Is that picked off? It looked like to me it was picked off by the Aeronauts. Can you see a number?
Yeah, number 30.
Number 30 for the Aeronauts, which is Liam Murphy.
Yep.
Picked off.
Down with it.
That's right. That's exactly right. So 1 interception by Campbell, 1 interception by the Aeronauts, and that's going to give the Aeronauts the ball again. Right back at the 20, right where Campbell had it. 1:27 on the clock. Do you think, do you believe in threes? Think we're going to get a third one? We won't if they run the ball, that's for sure. We've seen already the fumbles and interceptions, pretty much expected.
It's like a soccer match where the game just happens on one side of the field forever and ever and ever.
Uchiyama in the backfield again, hand it off to him, and Campolindo tackles in the backfield again. So that play is only good if you can get blocking on the line, and Campolindo's D-line is just blowing through.
Jacob Montero again.
Jacob Montero, okay, on that tackle. Seeing Theodore Eng out there on the line. Seen for the Aeronauts, number 52, Kasha Bavaman. It's hard for me, again, to look through the haze here to get them all. See number 84 out there is Sabir Kurana. And then out on the wide receiver, number 27, Daniel Polanco. Nobody in the backfield this time. They're throwing, and he's going to be sacked at about the 8 or 9 yard line. That's going to be a big loss for the Aeronauts. And that ball is going to be placed, looks like about the 10-yard line.
Jake Montero again. They really don't have an answer for the Campo pass rush at this point.
And so you keep doing the same thing over and over again until they stop you. So in this case, Montero keeps sacking the quarterback until they get a back to block you or somebody on the line there. So this is going to bring up 3rd and 20. 17 seconds left on the clock. Aeronauts may just let the clock wind down and just go into the locker room, the brand new locker room here, and lick their wounds. This clock's down to 7 right now. Campbell's only hope is maybe they can get a turnover, or like a scoop and score and run it in. And we're actually going to, let's see what's going to be interesting, Bill. The clock wound down to 0, and it looked like he was at the end of the play clock. But the bottom line, that's going to be the end of the second quarter. So your score after 2 quarters here at Emerald High School, home of the Aeronauts, is going to be Campolindo 20. Emerald 0. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
So that was Berkeley that they lost to, right?
No, the Aeronauts actually beat Berkeley last week, 12-9, I believe it is.
Oh, that's right.
12-9. So you assume 2 touchdowns, and the other team only scored 3 field goals, or some combination of that. All right, so 33 seconds left before kickoff here. Campolindo's already kicked off. They're eager to go. I'm assuming they won the toss, deferred until the second half. They want to run that back and run up that score if they can. Campo's got 2 players, Freer and I believe Cruz Judom. No, not Cruz Judom. That is Justin Fay, both standing at about the 19-yard line. And yeah, it's Fabo, and he's taking a couple steps back, and Freer over there on the other side of the field, ready to go.
What do you think of Jake Montero doing a great game today, huh?
Yeah, they're not blocking him. We're saying you just keep doing the same thing, Jake, until they're going to bring it back to block you, or they're going to actually put an offensive lineman to block you. Then keep doing that. But again, if you're the coach, and we don't know the name of the coach here for the Aeronauts, but your whole idea here is just, hey, run the same play until you get it perfect. And they just haven't gotten it perfect. They've had a lot of disaster break out there.
I think it's Coach Barry.
Coach Barry, okay. So it looks like number 60, Theodore Ng, is the one kicking off. A little a bouncing kick down to the 30. Campolindo's got that at the 9-yard line, and because he touched it on the ground, that was Matthew Morelli. That ball's going to be down there, and Campolindo's going to start its next drive here in the third quarter, its first drive here in the second half. All right, so again, Cougars leading 20-0. A reminder to those who don't know, it's 10-minute quarters in freshman and JV. Campbell can get that score up there. It allows them to put a lot of the second stringers and third stringers into the game. Same is true for the Aeronauts. Again, some relatively small squads for both. Aeronauts certainly with a smaller squad. Man in motion is Gray. Kester takes a snap, pitches it out to Freer. Freer gets to the 30. Tackle, good tackling there by the Aeronauts around the 35-yard line. That's going to bring up a second, and I'm going to say about 5.
Did he drop the ball?
Not signaling. And usually when they drop the ball, one of the referees takes out the blue bag, tosses on the ground to mark where the fumble was. Campo breaking their huddle up to the line on this 2nd and 5 play. One wide receiver up top, one at the bottom. I formation. Seeing an interior handoffs a lot today. And we've got an offsides by number 15, Nathan Uchiyama. In the back. A featured back there for the Aeronauts. Was that 5-yard penalty should give Campolindo a first down. You can see on some of these pictures how empty the stands are on the far side. Looks like Bill switched sides. You can kind of see the press box way up there. That's where we are. I'm not sure if we can wave and you can see us at that point. But all right, Campolindo after that penalty, 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. See if they continue to ground and pound here or they go to the air. Kester is going to throw. Oh, no, it's not Kester. It's number 11 for Campolindo, and he fumbles that ball. That ball's on the ground, and I think the Aeronauts got it. The new quarterback is Ryan Williams. I mean, it's a lefty. See what ended up happening. He's kind of like that ball's a yard away from you, and you're scrambling and trying to crawl to get it, and not sure if you quite got it, but it looks like Campolindo is going to retain possession there. Ball's going to be at the 35-yard line. So that's going to be a 15-yard loss and make it 2nd and 15. And look at you, you're already on top of all that.
We've got Ryan Williams back in. That was after that injury during the scrimmage he got. It really set the team back, I think.
Was Ryan the quarterback, kind of designated quarterback?
He was the starting quarterback that started the scrimmage before they started the season. Went out with that injury.
Well, and the interesting thing is a lot of these kids come out of like flag football and having been, the all-athlete, and in a lot of cases, the Williams could have been like a lead dude and quarterback in his flag football team, but the kids kind of know who they want to play quarterback. I've seen plenty of kids who who end up, they're such good athletes, they end up playing defensive back, they end up playing wide receiver, running back. But you really want somebody who wants to grow and develop, and it's not just for a year, but for the 4 years they're in high school and that whole experience. All right, so reset for you, 20-0 here in Dublin at Emerald High School. Williams behind center, one back, man in motion. And he's going to drop back the lefty well. He's looking, pursued, but that's going to be a completed pass to Freer. Flag on the play. There's probably a block, or an illegal block. And Freer gets down to the 30 of the Aeronauts and fumbles that ball. The ground caused the fumble, but there's going to be that's going to be walked back there. Flag is sitting there right there at about the 34-yard line of the Cougars. And I thought maybe was that illegal man downfield, though? That's actually better for the Cougars instead of the 10-yard holding penalty. So still good run.
Personal foul?
No, I think it was a legal man downfield. We'll see the signal from one of the referee. He's the man in the white cap, or sometimes you call him the head referee. And it's usually a lineman. It's just too far downfield once the pass is thrown. Yeah, and we're seeing him tap the top of his head. That's what it is. Be a 5-yard penalty, and then it's going to bring up 2nd and 15 for the Cougars. I think, or was it 2nd and first?
Was 2nd and 15.
So that's going to make probably, it's a spot foul. It should make it 2nd and 20. And looking where they're spotting the ball is at the 30-yard line, and they need to get about the 50. Yep. So 2nd and 20. So with Williams a quarterback, they're looking to throw. Lefty quarterback. He's got one wide receiver at the top, 3 at the bottom. And he gets not only the other team, but his team to jump off sides. I think it's going to be on number 52, Carter Sween. Yep. False start on Sween. It's going to be another 5 yards, make it that much higher of a hill to climb here. So 2nd and now 25. Probably doesn't change the play call from the sidelines. Saw Robbie Mascaroni down there. Plays for UC Davis now. Looking how trying to get in that lineup up there, but he's only a redshirt freshman. Here's the throw by Williams. It's thrown down the middle. Actually, a really decent throw. Just didn't have enough spin on that. It was intended for Ryder Bleat, who was running right up the hash marks. If he had caught that, it's another touchdown for the Cougars, but that ball is going to fall incomplete and make it 3rd and 25. Campolindo has scored in the last 3 drives outside of that pass interception they threw in the end zone near the end of the first half.
From this angle, it looked like he could have caught that ball, right? I mean, didn't make much of an effort to jump for it.
No. But again, it's all timing. Coaches are looking for that. They're looking for the players who are willing to do the work to earn those plays. 6:16 left on the clock. High snap. Williams looking. He's running up the field a little bit as he's looking. He's going to cross the line of scrimmage. He's going to try to get out of bounds. So right there at about the 36-yard line. And he's going to be tackled out of bounds. That was a no-go. Trying to see who that was. That was number 27 who tackled the Cougar out of bounds, Daniel Polanco.
Big mistake, huh?
Yeah, so Williams got up to about the 33-yard line, but him short by about 4 or 5 yards. And by 14 yards. But then that personal foul is going to make it an automatic first down and plus 15 yards. So again, just learning moment for the coaches, for the Aeronauts and the Cougars. And some of it is, hey, when you see you're coming up on your teammates and on the sideline, you got to be aware that. Let the guy go out of bounds or just kind of tap him out of bounds, whatever it is. But tackling him, that was kind of way out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a bad move.
All right, so 1st and 10 at the Aeronaut 48-yard line. I was about to say the 53-yard line. I said that once before doing this. Campolindo 1st and 10, probably will continue to throw here. Trying to tell you any changes in the wide receivers or the lineup here for the Cougars at all. Williams taking his time. Man in motion is Judom. It's a throw downfield. It's intended for number 81. Got turned around. 81 for the Cougars is Nolan Pastor. Ball falls incomplete. That just kind of was a kind of broken up play right from the beginning. It didn't look good. Coming out of Williams' hand and the way that Pastor was running down the field. It didn't seem that that was going to be a good connection. The thing is, Randy, when you can get timing going pretty well between players here, that's where you can turn up these scores pretty quickly. We saw that last week with the Northgate. They were in sync the whole time.
You saw the composure by Williams in the backfield. You know, he just has a natural tendency to be in that backfield in the pocket.
Yeah, you drop back in the pocket. Sometimes you need to step up. Sometimes you need to drift right or left. But he's looking downfield, looking at the defense, seeing that he only has one safety back. He's going to drop back. He's going to roll to his left. He's looking for his receiver, number 3. He just overthrows him, intended for Gray there. But again, this is his first action as a high school football player, his first drive, so not unexpected here. So with that incomplete pass, it's going to make it 3rd and 10.
I'm impressed with the amount of fans that have come out for the Emerald High.
Yeah, it's gotten better and better as the game has gone along. Game started at 5 o'clock, so again, it's in the middle of the commute hour, and talk about terrible traffic. It's always at 5:80, at 6:80 here.
Yeah.
So
for the Aero Ants.
Aeronauts. I'll repeat it for you what the aeronaut is.
Aeronauts?
Aeronauts. Williams behind center facing this 3rd and 10. He's going to face pressure. He fumbles the ball right there near midfield. That'll get you nothing. In fact, probably a loss of about a half yard and bring up 4th down and a punt from the Cougars.
Now you're saying aeronauts.
Aeronauts. So here's the definition.
I'm calling them the aero-aunts.
That's your...
I don't see an N.
Aeronauts.
I don't think that's correct.
Okay, let's look it up.
The aero-aunts are the Celtic Dragons that they had a big controversy apparently when they came up with this
all right, well,
mascot.
I stand corrected. I'm reading it wrong, folks. All right, let's start this all over again. It's going to make it even harder on me. Aeronauts.
I'm being tough on you.
So, yeah, the school's teams are the Aeronauts, a dragon-like Celtic folklore monster, and its colors are green, blue, and white. So, Aeronauts. See if I can not make a mistake on that the rest of the game after blowing it the first part. I'm not going to be the only one. All right, that's a snap on 4th down. Williams is over his head, picks that ball up, rolls off to his left. He's got a lot of ground green field, but he's going to fumble the ball right there at the 50-yard line. So, he's going to lose 4 yards. But I don't think the Cougars care all that much. Get Williams some of that experience. Just kind of a bad snap there. Aeronauts got him there, brought him down, caused the fumble. So they'll take possession there with 4:38 left in the 3rd quarter. Yeah, we make lots of mistakes up here in the booth, so it's just a question do you get caught on them? That's the big thing. We're going to put up a graphic here next time we have a break, and I'll allow you to email us, and you can complain about us all you want, or particularly about me. The problem that you run in the booth is just you're doing so many things at once. Like I'm picking the pictures here. Like I'm working with a new cameraman up above, and when there's not any action, he's basically tilting his camera elsewhere. But, it is what it is. We take his feed more than anything. And we're going to get a timeout here. I'm trying to see what it's about. This is going to be a timeout by the Aeronauts. And my dear friend Randy is well aware of how to do these things. This is their first time out of the second half, and we should have actually reset these. So you want to reset Campolindo to 3. And you're going to reset them to 2 since they now have 2. Or actually make it to 3. And then you click time, and you will have a timeout on the screen for everybody to see, and everyone knocks it down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the Aeronauts, the mascot was chosen to reflect the Irish heritage of the city of Dublin, as well as the students' preference for a sea serpent or Asian dragon to reflect the large number of Asian Americans now living in the city. So let's put that graphic up there, if you can scroll down here. So we'll put that on your screen. And it's camposports@outlook.com. So please send us an email. Tell us where you're watching the game. All right, here's the first snap of this drive for the Arrow-Ons. That ball is carried. I'm trying to see who the number was. And he gets maybe a yard or so. Ball started his drive about the 49.5. They're going to get out to about the 47 at this point. It's going to bring up second. And, well, it looks like it's still going to be about 10. Let's just make it 9. 2nd and 9. Going to a little bit of a wing look here, and that's trying to see who's quarterback. Different quarterback this time is number 20 for the Arrow-Ons. That is Joshua Chun. Bit of a pitch play there. I'm thinking, was that to number 47? Trying to see who was in the backfield as they move some things around there. May have been number 7, Vincent Gano.
Did they gain any yards on that?
They got, I think, maybe a yard, so we're going to call that either 3rd and 9 or 3rd and, yeah, I'm going to say 3rd and 9 out there.
Okay.
Yeah. About 2:50 left on the clock here and running here in the third quarter in this beautiful new field, again, at Elmore High School, and we're going to get another timeout. It's officials timeout, probably for something going on with a player, his uniform. So number 4 is coming in, Bryson Morales.
What do we have here? It's a school that's got freshmen, sophomore, and juniors only?
Just freshmen and sophomores here. So the sophomores last year as freshmen, they were over at the Dublin High School campus on, the trailers. They only had about 346 students there, 350. And then once this campus was finished, they moved up to sophomores here, and then the freshman class came on in. So right now you have about 950 students.
Wow.
And all freshmen and all sophomores. So Vincente Gano, looks like he was injured on that play, and the coaches wanted to get him out. The referees certainly flagged that. And it's all about your health out here and learning.
Well, a great amount of enthusiasm for just having freshmen and sophomores only.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
All right, we're back to play. Arrow-Ons looking at 3rd and about 9 to go. Again, no wide receivers. Looks like a veer offense. Inside hands off to, I believe, number 54. And that number 54 on this handwritten roster is Aiden Zakos. So that's going to bring up 3rd. Is it 3rd down? Yeah. 4th down. Sorry. 4th and about 8 to go here. So we're just getting a bunch of, bad images at times to work with here.
Your film crew is not pulling their strength?
No, we're actually getting some pretty good images on the field, but it's just I have to, I see the images for the main camera just going up to the houses across the way and not keeping them on the field at times. All right, so 4th and 8, nothing to lose here for the Arrow-Ons. And number 54 is looking like he's lost. 54 is a lineman's number. That's Connor Scott, but he isn't where he was supposed to line up. Again, all part of the learning process.
Timeout.
So timeout there on the field by the Arrow-Ons. They'll use their second timeout of the second half. All right, now we're resuming. It's going to be 4th down for the Arrow-Ons. They are going to punt this time. Punter is standing on the 40, and that's Eng. Eng gets that ball off. And that's received, taken by the Cougars. That's number 9, headed up the sidelines. Is he going to get off to the races? It looks like he maybe, nope, he's going to be pushed out of bounds. That was number 9 for the Cougars, Matthew Morelli. Pushed out of bounds by a trio of Arrow-Ons, including number 15, Nathan Uchiyama.
A good run back. What, about 30-plus yards?
Yeah, that was excellent. So that's going to bring up 1st and 10 for Campolindo, already in Arrow-Ons territory. So I think I'm 10 for 10 or 20 for 20 for St. Arrow's.
Okay, all right. You made up for yourself.
So, folks, I realize there's usually somewhere between anywhere 20 and 50 people who are listening in, usually grandparents, sometimes some of the students, et cetera, just kind of seeing how the freshmen are doing. So we don't look to do anything incredibly highbrow as far as our announcing, but I just want to give you some entertainment out there. All right, the Cougars, their ball's actually on the 38-yard line. Ball's handed off to Freer. Freer trying to get through the line. He does. Pinballs around his tackle right there at the 30-yard line. And he was brought down. I'm trying to see who that player was. It may have been a linebacker there, Uchiyama.
Good tackle.
Yep, but still, that's going to be a gain of about 3 for Freer. It's going to bring up 2nd and 7 to go.
There's one grandpa that I have to put a shout out. That's J.D. Cow's grandpa. He's all the way in Alabama watching this game, and he's a big fan of ours watching us last week. So
that's excellent. Good to hear. So I'm just checking here to see if anybody has emailed us at Campo Sports. And so far, none of you.
That's a good sign, I think, right?
I got an update on Microsoft's terms of use, though. All right, so on 2nd down, flag on the play. Usually that's a penalty on the offense, and it is a false start on the Cougars. It'll cost them 5 yards. They'll replay 2nd down, and we'll make it 2nd and about 11 or 12. And that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. So your score over here at Emerald High School. Emerald High School's only their 3rd game ever is they trail Campolindo 20-0. We'll take a quick break. All right, we're back here at Emerald High School. We're going to start the 4th quarter of this freshman game, and our score right now is Campolindo 20-0 against the Emerald Aeronauts. We're getting all sorts of images from all sorts of places here. So typically our main camera focuses just on the field, doesn't drift up. But I think the reason that's happening is because he's videoing all the way through. The camera that's being used up above is used for the coaches, and what's called the huddle camera.
That's the huddle camera.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. This is going to be 2nd and 12 for the Campolindo Cougars. And as we start the 4th quarter, trying to see is that Williams back, a quarterback, I believe, is still playing. He is the lefty. He's looking downfield. Good toss down there. He's aiming for number 3 and just kind of throws that out of bounds. So learn to keep that a little bit more toward the numbers. Ball drifted out of bounds. Again, trying to hit Dudum down there. One of the better athletes on this team. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 12. With a 20-point lead, I think the coaches are trying to open the playbook a little bit, kind of see what some of these Cougars can do. But again, as we said before, the schedule just gets tougher as the season goes along.
And next week we're in Livermore?
We're in Livermore. Again, we're covering everywhere in the valley here before the Cougars head back home and are going to get to play at Campolindo. So we got a good image here. Williams redirecting one of his players there. Referees are calling it a timeout. No, they're going to say an illegal substitution on Campolindo will cost them another 5 yards. So. That's part of the thing, is just being able to know you're supposed to be in the game,
right,
when you're not supposed to be in the game, knowing where to line up. As I remind people, the freshmen had a rough go of it in previous years and different teams, including last year's team, and they're doing pretty darn well this year so far. Running off a 34-game winning streak with their 2-0 start, hoping to extend it to 35 tomorrow against Windsor. Here's a snap. Williams takes, pursued by a whole bunch of Arrowhawks. Is he going to throw downfield? He is. He hits his receiver, Dudum, at about the 22-yard line. It's going to be short of a 1st down easily by about... they're going to actually give him all the way to the 24-yard line, so it's going to be short, but maybe a yard, Randy.
Did you see the composure by Williams as he rolled left? He was pursued, and he was able to kind of gain composure and throw that ball downfield. And
yeah, really no panic in him. You know, again, it's just a sign of a quarterback who knows what he's doing. When you roll to one side or the other, it halves the field. So your receivers just need to know what their jobs are at that point. And usually it's don't stand where, you know, in one spot. It's easy to defend you. It's run back to your quarterback or get to a space, an empty green space where there's no defenders. And maybe your quarterback can hit you right like that. All right, so back to action here. 4th and about 2 yards. And that's going to be an interior handoff. That's going to be a successful first down on that handoff to Anderson, Blake Anderson, number 14. Freer's number 12. And the Cougars are back in business here as they start to enter the red zone. So we have a third camera. I can show you, but it's the wrong end zone here, folks. Campolino's going in the opposite direction. So if you want to help us with any of our video cameras and help improve the broadcast, we're looking for student volunteers. They're supposed to have the club meetings this week. We're supposed to get a whole bunch of student volunteers. But it's hard to get them to go to freshman games if they're not freshmen, and specifically on road games. All right, here we are. We're back to action here. Sorry, get you the right camera. And we're going to have a flag on the play. Is this going to be too much time? Yep, too much time on Campolindo. As a result, lose 5 yards. It's going to make this 1st and 15 again. So my apologies on the camera cuts here. Just makes it a little bit more challenging. It's okay, I'll take it. And actually, that's going to be a penalty encroachment on the arrow-ons. I thought, misread that there. Made to make that assumption that it was...
was it a 5-yard penalty?
Cougars. So 5-yard penalty. It's going to move that ball up to about the 15, make it 1st and 15. Williams behind center, I formation in his backs. With his backs, he is going to throw, though. He's going to throw for the end zone. Can his receiver run under it? Then we're going to get a flag on there. No, they're going to say the defender, I think that was number 20 out there, Joshua Chun, held his ground. If he turned around, he might be able to pick that off. It was kind of throwing to a spot where the receiver was going to be. Ball fell incomplete in the end zone, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 5 for the Cougars. So we find out with these cameras, that camera is clear on the other side of the field, what you're looking for. Sometimes it doesn't transmit as well as we'd like it. You know, the receivers are right in front of me. All right, 2nd and 5 play for the Cougars. Interior handoff. That is going to go to Anderson. Anderson's going to get down to about the 8-yard line. Remember that name. Blake Anderson. Looks like a pretty good running back. He's going to grow and get bigger and be one of the many options for Coach Kevin Macy and his varsity teams in a couple of years.
What do you think? 3rd and 2?
Looks like it to me. 3rd and 2. We've lost camera 1. Well, this is why you have multiple cameras, as the guys were saying last week. So either you were shaking the booth or an earthquake just hit, one of the two.
That's what I felt myself. Or if that kid was shaking it.
All right, 3rd and 2 for the Cougars, 2-down territory. Williams is going to throw, looking. Arrow-ons are on him, and he's going to be tackled by number 10, George Ravi. Great sack there at about the 18-yard line. Sorry, the camera's not cooperating there. So that's going to bring up 4th and about 6 to go. So we're kind of stuck on one camera here until further notice. It's okay, 6:15 left in the 4th quarter. Didn't expect this to be a perfect broadcast. But I must say, you've gotten the hang of this with all the down and distance stuff. We now are facing about a 4th and 6 to go. And their scoreboard's wrong, saying 4th and 9. The line judge is standing about the 26, and the Cougars need to get down to about the 16. So actually, the Cougars are going to try a field goal for Freer here. Ball's going to be spotted at about the 25. It's a 35-yard field goal.
He's got a great boot.
Let's see him. Here's the snap. Here's the placement. Here's the kick. And maybe it's going to be a little bit shorter. Get over it. Hits the upright. Hits the right upright. One of those things you cannot do even if you tried it. That's going to boing off, and that's going to leave the score at 20-0 with 5:33 left on the clock, and the Arrowhawks taking over at the 25-yard line, I believe.
Oh, that just hit that upper post. As you said, you could not even recreate that if you tried. He had a lot of height on that ball, though.
He did. This is the same thing as it always is, just about getting some practice in.
Yeah.
Can you go up there? All right, folks, we're back to action here, and we don't have our other camera, but we'll just do radio play-by-play and see how the field camera works. But that was a bad snap. That ball is going to be, well, they're saying it's incomplete. It's essentially an incomplete pass. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10. So it hasn't been a good day out there on offense for the Arrowhawks. They haven't been able to move the ball too much. I remember 2 or 3 good passing plays. Both weren't defended very well by the Cougars, and as a result, they've got goose egg on the board there for this brand new high school football team. All right, looks like we got our camera. Looks like we got our camera back on camera 1. I'm going to go with that. Yeah, we're on one of the sides of the field here where the sun's shining directly toward the press box. It doesn't help with any sort of camera work, quality camera work. I prefer to be on the other side of the field without our back. All right, number 18 takes the snap, and he's still got that ball. He's going to do just essentially a quarterback keeper, get all the way back up to about the 29-yard line. That was Zachary Nelson in a quarterback. We saw, seen him most of the game there, and now we see a flag on the play, a late flag. On the time, that's a pushing and shoving foul, Randy. Let's see what the referee says. Again, we only got 3 of them today. Actually, we have 4. We have 2 line judge and an umpire behind. Here we go. Do you remember the signal for that? Irregardless, penalty on Campolindo. Ball's going to be moved from the 28. It looks like it's going to be that 15-yard variety because it's going all the way up to the 43 or so.
Is that a personal foul or what?
No, it doesn't look like a personal foul, but it may have been like a tackle below the knees type of foul. Just not familiar with that type of that signal right away. That's just me. Sorry about that, folks. All right, back to action. So that's going to be a first down for the Arrowhawks. Man in motion. It's going to be kept by Nelson. Nelson's going to be smacked so loud or so hard by representing Justin Fable. We could hear it all the way up here in the press booth. And so he's going to be stopped there pretty much at the line of scrimmage. It's going to leave 3:58 on the clock here in the first quarter.
Third quarter?
Oh, fourth quarter. Here in the fourth quarter. I changed everything for you. And Campolindo leading 20-0.
Where we at?
3:34 left on the clock in this freshman game. Sun going down on the other side of the field. Here's the snap, and this time it's number 12, Buhan Krishna Mohan, and he was going to the left, tried to reverse to the right, and got met by 2 Cougars, and that including Fabo as well as Luke Childers. I've got it right. So that's going to bring up third down and about 14 to go. Clock continues to wind, 2:53.
What do we have, 15 to go, you said?
Yeah, it looks like about 14 to go. I mean, they need to get down to about the Campo 46-yard line there. So if you're the coach for the Arrowhawks, you're just trying to see progress. Same thing as the Campo coaches are looking for. You're just trying to see that these guys are getting better. They're able to run their plays more effectively. We've seen the same play. We expect 15 to come back to the backfield. Here he is again. Here's the snap. It's the handoff to Uchiyama. Uchiyama is cutting through, and he's running away from the Cougars. Can they stop him and preserve their shutout? Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's headed for the end zone. Touchdown, Arrowhawks. It's the type of play that bit the Cougars last week in the behind. weren't able to pursue any of the guys who are getting around, and particularly the safeties. That's your job at that point in time, is to track them down. So that's going to put 6 up on the board for Emerald. We're guessing it's only the 3rd touchdown of the year. I'm going to guess that Uchiyama scored all 3, but then again, I didn't see any film of the previous game. Let's see, do they have a kicking game or not? Typically, if it's a kicking game, they have a kicking game, you see a new player come on and a new ball come on. But no, they're going to go for 2 points. No big surprise, especially at the freshman level. No, Campolindo does stress having kickers get experience at all 3 levels. But if you don't have a kicker, you can't kick. All right. Number 12 has the ball. He's tried to head for the end zone with Campolindo. Is they going to keep him out? No, they're going to get into the end zone, I believe. Well, they're going to say his knee's down, Randy. They're saying his knee was down like about the half-yard line. I thought he was diving into the end zone and got that, but
it was a close call.
I'm wrong, so that's going to leave this score at Campolindo 20 and Emerald 6 with 2:10 left in the 4th quarter. Well, I'm sorry, I could have used the other camera there. My apologies. Trying to get more and more familiar with this. Didn't kind of expect a touchdown in that end zone. So we have these cameras that can transmit without wires, of course. So we have they have attached to the very top a transmitter. We have the receivers in front of us. They're plugged into our switcher. And if we don't have anybody manning it, we point it toward the end zone and try to give you this look out there. So I kind of erred in not being able to do that before. So again, we take what we can get with whatever volunteers. We're very, very grateful for it, no matter what. And you can see what we do on our varsity broadcast, by the way. It's pretty crisp because we have a lot of volunteers. All right, so number 60, Ing, on for the kickoff. Expect an onside kick. Those Camp will have their hands team. Looks like all their skill players are up there anticipating this. Let's see how good they have. An onside kick team this young Arahant team has. Ing approaches the ball, and he actually kicks it down the field. So that's going to bounce at about the 23. It's going to be misplayed. It's going to be picked up about the 12-yard line by number 5, Clayton. Clayton's going to get buried right there and kind of pushed back all the way to the 12-yard line.
Nice tackle.
And we're not seeing that come on our screen here, so. All right. So with 1:58 on the clock, Campo looks like going to keep on most of their starters out there. See if they can run some plays here, maybe just try to attack downfield for the remaining couple minutes of the game.
Yeah, I haven't seen the coach put any other players in.
Yeah, I don't know quite the reasoning on that. Campo breaks the huddle, 1st and 10 on the 14-yard line. Williams back at quarterback. Here's the handoff to Freer. Freer tackled right about the 11-yard line, so that's going to be a loss about 2 or 3. Well, it's interesting. Campolindo scored 20 points in the first half. He scored nothing in the second half. You thought this was going to be a big blowout, upwards of 30 to 40 points for Campolindo, but either the Arahants have gotten better or the Campolindo has not gotten better in this case. So 1:09 left on the clock in the 4th quarter, 2nd and about 12 to go.
Kind of lost their steam. They had some momentum, and then second half they've taken it easy.
Well, you got to learn how to keep the momentum going, right? Williams taking most of the play game clock down to 53 seconds. Drops back to pass. He's looking, he's being chased. Throws that ball up in the air. He was out of the pocket, so it's not going to be any sort of grounding.
And he's getting no protection back there.
Yeah, so again, the line has to learn to do its job. And again, the question is he abandoning the pocket because he just sees the guys already coming right away, or is he doing it on his own? Is he just taking off just to run his play from that side of the field?
Yeah.
So 40 seconds left on the clock here. Again, Campbell leading 20-6. Aaron's the game pretty much decided here as Aaron's trailed by 14, but they're trying to maybe get another score if at all possible. Cougars may be 90 yards from the end zone, but they can certainly get that ball down the field if they wanted to. It's going to be an interior handoff. Not so sure who that went to.
Looks like they'll just try to run
Tackled by a whole bunch of Aaron's at about the 14-yard line. And now we've got a timeout on the field. 30 seconds left on the clock, and you see who the timeout was by? I think that may have been by Campolindo. Seeing Campolindo roll in some new players here. Other players going out. And again, remember, there was reserves. You know, they're learning just like the starters do.
Yeah.
On the field. You know, they run a lot of scout teams trying to imitate what the other team's doing. But no, those guys are rolling in, Randy, because Campolindo's going to punt. So they got Freer back there standing at about his 4-yard line. And we got the returner for the Aaron standing right about midfield or so. Can't see who that quite see who that is. So Freer takes the snap. He's going to get that punt off. It's a bit of a line drive. It bounces perfectly for Campolindo. Goes right by the Arrowants and into their territory. Picked up by number 27, Polanco. And he's tackled immediately by a Cougar. Ball will be spotted at about the 41.5-yard line. And the 41-yard line. And the Arrowants going to start what essentially is the last drive of the game for either team.
Well, we got 20 seconds left. What do you think they'll do?
You'd like to think that they would just take a knee and just kind of go back and watch the film and be ready for next week. So next week for the Arrowants, they will be playing, trying to look at their schedule here. Well, the next game they have scheduled here is the 26th. So that's actually in 2 weeks, and that's at Wilcox in Santa Clara. Campolindo again plays at Granada and Livermore last week. It's the last of 4 straight home games to open the season.
You mean away games?
Yeah, away games. Did I say something different? Sorry. All right, Arrowants, they're just going to see if they can throw a deep one.
Yep.
And deep is about 20 yards. And actually, it's a reception. Ball popped up in the air out of the receiver's hands and then fell down to the ground. Still 6 seconds left on the clock here. Again, if you're a baller, you just want to keep balling out there until the referees say, head to the locker room, guys.
That was a volleyball match down there. Ball was popped up and anybody's game.
Yeah, so again, what you see on Max Prep, it's only what the head coaches can put in there, athletic directors. So this will be a victory for Campolindo. May not show up on Max Preps for now or until later, but the bottom line is they're going to take home a 20-6 victory unless something strange happens on this last play. Mm-hmm. 2 wide receivers to the top, 3 on the bottom. He's going to throw. Does he have the time? No, he's going to run. He's going to run into a bunch of linebackers for the Cougars, and that's going to end the game. All right. Well, looks like the players are headed for midfield. And like we said before, the Campolindo freshmen are going to come out of this game against the Aeronauts and win 20-6 for their first victory as high school football players. The Aeronauts are going to fall to 1-2. Campolindo will improve to 1-2. And again, daunting schedule as we go through the year. So we thank you very much for spending some time with us to kind of watch these young players get better, and look forward to hearing you or you joining us maybe tomorrow for the games against Windsor at Campolindo. The JV starts at 4:30, varsity starts at 7, and again, we'll be broadcasting from Livermore next week. And I believe that game is starting, at least according to the schedule, at 6. That's one of those. It's the last 6 o'clock start from what we can see, and that's a nod to the traffic difficulties you have getting through the valley.
Yeah. So
again, for Bill Chapman, who spent the first half in the booth and was on the field for the second half, and for, I'm going to say, Randy Travis. No.
Hey, I'll give a special shout out to Bruce Lyon for doing all this production work, and he does an amazing job of organizing this entire production and presentation that you get at home. So special shout out for Bruce.
Yeah, again, we just try to do it to, make it a convenient thing for folks at home. So again, my apologies. It's Randy Whitney, of course, up here in the booth did a fantastic job in the second half. Your final score here in Dublin at Emerald High School, Campolindo 20, Emerald 6. Good night.
Good night.